The Dollmaker's Curse. Cosima didn't believe in curses, but the dust of Silas's antiquities felt heavy with secrets. She'd taken the summer job for the rent money, ignoring the town's whispers about the dollmaker of Eldridge Street. The back room was Silas's workshop, a surgical theater of porcelain limbs and glassy eyes. He was bent over his bench, always working on a final piece, a tall, silent figure in an apron. Her job was to dust the display cases. When she reached the oldest case, she found it, a doll unlike the others. Its dress was faded black velvet, and its eyes, under the dusty glass, seemed to follow her movements. That evening, she researched Eldridge Street Dollmaker. The old record spoke of an apprentice years ago who vanished, leaving only a half-finished doll and a note that read, "The final stitch traps the breath." The next morning, the doll was different. Its tiny hands, which yesterday were clasped neatly, now rested flat. Cosima's heart hammered a frantic rhythm against her ribs. She was certain the display case hadn't been unlocked. She found the hidden book beneath a bolt of antique lace. It was Silas's ledger, but the entries weren't about sales. They were dates, names, and under the last entry, the missing apprentice, a frantic, scrawled sentence, a perfect shell for a perfect soul. Cosima slowly walked into the workshop. Silas was still bent over his bench, now gluing a final piece of hair onto the head of the mourning doll. The air felt thick and cold. "The ledger explains everything, doesn't it, Silas?" Her voice was a nervous tremor. Silas straightened slowly, the glue brush held like a weapon. "Art requires sacrifice, Cosima," he said, his eyes devoid of warmth. "The purest art requires the purest materials." "You took her," Cosima whispered, stepping back toward the main shop. "You finished the doll, and you trapped a piece of her life inside it. That's why the eyes move. That's why the hands change." Silas lunged, but Cosima was faster. She grabbed a small, heavy wooden mallet from the wall. One hard swing, and the lock on the front door shattered. She ran out into the sunlit street, but as she ran, she swore she could hear a tiny, high-pitched giggle from within the shadows of the shop. The curse was still there, waiting.